Once again, welcome to Trashmouth Fantasy Football Week 3 number podcast. We have a back-to-back GM on the show. It is Chet Psycho, the three-time champ, on the show again. Got the front parking spot, gets all the nice little hors d'oeuvres and desserts in the waiting room, got all the nice service. Welcome back again.
Welcome to my weekly show. Thanks for having me again.
Should we just call it the Psycho Podcast?
Might as well.
I mean, it just has a nice ring to it.
It sure does.
So tell us about your Week 3 win over the Grim Reapers, 60-48. Your quarterbacks alone equaled Grim Reapers' total for his team. And like you've mentioned, as advertised, the dual threat quarterback in effect again.
Let's put it this way. My two quarterbacks tied Alberto and beat everybody else's point total in this league. That should tell you something.
That speaks volumes. All right, so you're 3-0 now. You're beginning to develop a little bit of a lead. You've been to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. Almost had a back-to-back championship. Slipped through your fingers. What do you feel, even though your team is 3-0, not to give away any secrets, but what do you think about your team? Are you satisfied? Because you know at any point, the Baltimore-Philadelphia point bonanza could slow down rushing touchdowns by their players on the Ravens and Eagles. So are you feeling that you need a little bit more balance? Because you could break it down. 48 out of your 60 points was scored by only two players.
Yeah, I know. Of course, balance is always good in this league. Don't get me wrong. You're going to have weeks where your quarterbacks are going to carry you most of it happens. It happens. But will I get? Yeah, I'll get production. But the team I got plenty of production. That I'm not even worried about.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, you're 3-0. You're looking very good in the Western Division. So, your next matchup, as I'm bringing it up, is against the G-Men, who you defeated 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. He just got a win. He's feeling good about himself. You could really, really separate yourself with a victory this week against the G-Men of the Western Division. Thoughts on that?
Well, like I said, as long as my guys keep producing like they've been doing, I'm going to be a very hard team to beat in this league this year, period. Everybody's getting desperate already. I can see it in some of the roster moves already. People are getting very, very desperate. And it's only week 3.
Only week 3. Okay. So, we have a question from Jeff in Baltimore. He works as a pastry chef in a clam bake establishment. He wants to invite you and anybody else down to his waterfront place for a little crab cake session. So you're invited down to Baltimore, of course, to see the Ravens and get a little crab cakes. So,
sounds good. I have to take them up on the offer.
All right. I'll have to set that up. All right, so once again, Nick Chubb scored for you again. He's the featured back. What else do you feel about your team that you like and you don't like?
Of course, love the quarterbacks. Need a little more production for the receivers besides Diggs. Always use that. Okay, but my one issue is, what is the head coach in Atlanta thinking of not throwing the ball to your best player on your team? I don't get it.
Okay.
Last week, okay, all of a sudden it's like Pitts is no part of their offense, and I didn't understand that.
Okay. Have to talk about it since it happened last year. This GM defeated you in the Super Bowl by a narrow margin. Thoughts on Widowmaker 0-3 start?
Well, he was already boasting week one that he was going to beat everybody in the league, starting with me. You know, he's probably got some of the oldest quarterbacks, the way they're looking right now in this league. You've got Tom Brady with no offensive line, with no receivers to help him. Russell Wilson, I don't know what's going on with them. I think the head coach is clueless to start with. Absolutely clueless. But I think they'll come back on track. They will.
Okay.
But, I mean, he's got one other good player, Mark Andrews, who I love. You know, other than that, he's got questionable players on his roster.
Okay. All right then. So this part of the show is Trash Mouth Fantasy Football parting shots. Is there anybody again this week that you would like to call out, reprimand, trash talk, give some props to in the league?
Yeah, I like to call out one person in particular. That's Gridiron Gridmatch. Mr. Dave.
Well, first of all, you got to get the name right. Say it again.
I'll say it again. The team is 1-3.
Excuse
Right
me?
now. That's the Gridiron Grudge Match. It's 1-3.
We're only on week number 3 podcast. This is week
You're
3.
about to be 1-3 after this week.
Oh, okay.
About to be 1-3 after this week.
Oh,
Why are you sitting there, okay, with probably more than likely the third best tight end in your league on your bench?
I don't know. Why don't we have somebody make me a trade offer and I'll see what happens. I already explained it to you yesterday, but you obviously didn't listen the first time.
Well, you explained it to me. Okay? I don't need help right now. I'm sitting here 3-0, and I haven't even had to make a move yet.
Well, okay.
Everybody in the league's making 2 moves, 3 moves. I've seen today. 5 moves made in the league today.
Okay, they have a right to.
Of course, I understand that. And my opponent in particular might be down to play this week because he made a move.
Okay, well, we'll have to figure that out. All right, so this part of the show, once again, represents the nature of somebody beating out 7 other GMs to get on the show, to say whatever he wants, and to talk about his proud team. How do you have to get on the show, Chet?
Well, it's simple. First, you got to beat me, which probably not going to happen too much this year. And second off, you got to have the most points for the week.
There you go. And to start 3-0 is very impressive. There's a large percentage of GMs that start 3-0 that do make the playoffs. So it is very, very possible.
And one other shout out I like to give out to who actually, I don't know how the hell he won this past week, is the 6 shooters.
Okay.
I don't get how he won this week.
Well, a win is a win. I mean,
it was scary sitting there watching going into where he sits there and goes, okay, now he's lost Mac Jones for a while. And he's probably he might have lost 3 other guys this week.
Well,
whoever's playing this week should win.
Well, he got the win, and that's all that counts. And I'm sure he'll be looking over his roster and the injuries and making the best decision. But hey, sometimes you just got to worry about yourself instead of worrying about other GMs and what they're doing.
Boy, hey, I'm like I said, I'm sitting here 3-0, most points in the league. Haven't had to make a move. I think somebody drafted pretty smartly.
I would agree. So far, you're doing everything right, and your team is definitely responding. All right. Thank you, Psychos, for being on the show for the 2nd week in a row. We'll see if you can do it 3 weeks in a row, which is very difficult, not easy to do. And
we'll definitely be seeing you next week. No doubt about that.
All righty. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and have a good night.
Good night, all.